Hey folks, welcome back to DCS. Today's video is going to be a little bit different from ones of old. Old being the operative word because we're going to be doing a reading from Fighter Pilot, the memoirs of legendary ace Robin Olds. So I've been reading this book on and off for the last couple of weeks. I've nearly finished it, but it's been pretty unputdownable, and I feel like there's a lot of elements of it that I could recreate or at least, you know, read back to in video form. So this excerpt is going to be just to sort of whet your appetite. If this video does well, then I'll probably make a series out of it because there's plenty of other stuff that I can delve into from here. But this first thing I'm going to show you is actually from about 3/5 of the way through the book, and it's when he's first getting into the Phantom. I didn't realise how far back his career went, because I only really know of him because when Heatblur released the Phantom, they modelled the pilot model off Robin Olds, which was quite cool. So I thought, wow, there must be something to this guy. So I looked into him, and that's how I ended up getting this book. So he actually started off as a P-38 pilot in World War II, progressed to the P-51, he flew the Meteor Mark IV for a little bit when he was transferred to the RAF, and then the T-33, or the P-80 as it was then known. He skipped the Sabre for Korea, he never got to fly that to my knowledge, and then eventually he ended up in the Phantom. There may have been a few things that I missed out, but 12 of his aerial victories of the 17 that he was credited with were from World War II. So at some point when I finish my house move and I'm a bit more settled, I'm actually thinking of looking into the Warbirds in DCS, because that can help me to recreate some of the P-51 stuff in the book. And then there's IL-2, and I might need some help with what to get for IL-2 because there's like a billion different DLCs. And I'm not sure if they're all actually DLCs or if they're separate games, but IL-2 is something that I am looking into anyway because of the Korea DLC that's come out. So I could use IL-2 for the P-38 stuff, maybe the P-51 stuff as well if DCS doesn't quite do it right. Obviously the Phantom's in DCS, the P-80 is in War Thunder, although he never flew it in combat, so I might just sort of gloss over that. But the P-80 is also going to be in the Korea DLC for IL-2, so there's plenty of stuff to go at. Anyway, so today's excerpt from the book is about how Robin had heard that under high AOA the Phantom suffers from adverse yaw. The footage in the background was just general F4 stuff because I actually tried to recreate this in DCS, but I couldn't get it to work. Let's get on with it, shall we? On my second flight in the F4, we were west of Tucson near Gila Bend and had just gone through the usual familiarisation manoeuvres. We had done high G manoeuvring, rolls reversals, and routine acrobatics. I loved the Phantom. Everything about it felt right. It was light on the controls and quickly responsive to power changes, and it gave me a feeling of eagerness not normal in an object weighing more than 17 tons. Hey Bill, how about showing me this adverse yaw everyone seems so worried about? I knew what the principle was, but in this airplane it seemed to present some unusual problems. Basically the idea was that an airplane turns by moving one aileron up and the opposite aileron down, causing a roll. Adverse yaw was a slewing or skidding of the nose in the direction away from the turn. It was caused by the down aileron generating more drag than the one moved upward. It was usually countered by a bit of rudder. I'd seen it all before. Bill didn't sound too eager when he answered. I don't know, Robin. Well, okay, let's get some speed. Hit the burners, let the nose down, then pull up when you're close to Mach to zoom and get some altitude under us, okay? Now pull up to about 60 degrees. Up we zoomed like a rocket. Okay, we're through 40,000, bring it out burner and back to idle. Let her slow down like a stall approach. 45,000, 50,000, don't touch the ailerons. Okay, we're down to 200 knots, 175, hold it, 51,000, 150 knots. Now touch the ailerons. Feel that buffeting? Watch out for the... oh shit. The nose of the F4 swerved left opposite my aileron input, sliced right, left again, then right, and tucked under violently. The ground spun around, stopped, and then spun the other way. The nose pitched up above the horizon, then slammed under again. The earth spun. My shoulder harness bit me hard. A few years worth of accumulated dust and dirt flew up over my head and lodged on the canopy. We seemed to be in an inverted tumble. I had seen spins in a lot of airplanes, but this was something else. I worked furiously at the controls, but nothing seemed to have any effect. Then both engines flamed out. We were gyrating like a falling leaf in a windstorm when Bill hollered, "Get out the RAT, the engines are gone." At least one of us knew what was going on. I found the handle on the console by my hip and extended the ram air turbine. I heard the small door stump open as the fan device popped out into the airstream to run the hydraulics for flight controls. We continued tumbling crazily. Straight down, down, sky overhead, then under, the ground appeared, then disappeared. Negative G-forces sucked at us, then a slam of positive. Down we went. 30,000, 20,000, 18,000, the altimeter unwinding. The bird tumbled, the earth spun, the horizon went crazy, and I kept feeling out all the controls trying to break the violent stall. "Okay, Colonel," Bill yelled. 14,000, we better get out. No, wait. I think I got it. Just one more turn. As the nose went straight down and paused in its gyrations, I slammed the stick full forward. Ailerons with the turn and full opposite rudder. The aircraft hesitated, then kicked farther forward in a wings level dive. I immediately relaxed forward pressure and went neutral on the ailerons and rudder. By God, that did it. I was back in control. The airspeed was building. I pulled gently out of our dive. We levelled out at about 8,000 feet above the deck, and with Bill's help I restarted both engines. I could hear Bill gulping huge deep breaths in the backseat. "Holy mackerel, Bill, that was fun. Let's do that again." I laughed when Bill shouted, "Not on your life, sir." The G-meter was pegged in both directions, positive and negative. We flew gingerly back to base, knowing the bird would have to undergo a thorough check for possible damage to the airframe and engines. Well, I thought, that was an enlightening experience. I guess the tech order knew what it was talking about when it warned of deep stalls and aileron movement. I think I'll avoid it in the future. And I did. So, if you enjoyed that, then let me know in the comments. There's plenty more where that came from. I also have a book by Ed Rasmus, who is also a Phantom pilot in Vietnam, which I'll be going through next. If there's anything in there of interest, then I'll be sure to add that to the list of stuff to cover. But yeah, Robin Auld, what an absolute ledge. There are bits in this book where he says that he actually would have ended up with a significantly larger amount of kills than what he was credited for, because they said to him that they'd send him home to do like public relations and, you know, I don't want to say propaganda, but they wanted to use him back in the US to like show that the war was going America's way, basically. But he didn't want to leave because he didn't want to leave his guys behind, so instead of killing his 5th MiG, he intentionally didn't. So every time there was an opportunity, he would actually hold fire and he'd like set it up for a teammate, or us for a teammate, you know what I mean. He'd set it up for someone else to take the kill instead. So this guy was such an absolute beast that he survived basically flying as a pacifist in a war zone. Just insane. The book is amazing. I got it on Amazon for about 20 quid. Highly recommend. So the Phantom that Robin is flying in the book is actually the F4C and later the F4D, I think. The one in DCS obviously is the E, which is a later model than both, and I don't think the C or the D have leading edge slats. They may also, I don't know if they have different engines. I don't want to speak out of turn because I don't really know, but I couldn't get what he described. I couldn't get the Phantom to basically be an inverted flat spin. I just couldn't get it to work. I tried completely recreating it based on his account. I tried locking the slats up on the F4E and DCS to see if that would help to create the airflow issue that he was having. But I think the F4E must have just been designed in a different way to mitigate the risk or whatever. And I may have just not been able to find it. But I did scour the manual. And the F4E, as far as I can tell, doesn't have a ram air turbine. So if your engines do flame out, then you wouldn't be able to use that to maintain hydraulic pressure, so I'm not sure if it does it in some other way. But I searched for RAT and ram air turbine in the manual and I couldn't find anything about it. So I'd be interested to know if either of, because there's only 2 members of my audience, clearly. Don't know why I said that. It would be interesting to know if any of you are able to recreate what he described in the DCS fanon. I apologise, by the way, if there's been any background noises today, because I'm in my mum's dining room, and this house used to be a shop in the 1800s, so there's a window, a massive window to my left, straight onto the street, and the road is about 5 metres from me, only separated by a double, it might even be single glazed glass, no, it's double glazed, so a lot of noise goes through. But we have put an offer in if you're interested in our house move, so hopefully that'll be progressing, and touch wood, we should be in by March, so there shouldn't be too much more of this shenanigans. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I've rambled far too much. I hope you enjoyed the background footage. Let me know if you think I could have done anything differently or better. If you have any insight on any of the things mentioned, then let me know. Check out the links in the description for Pimax's VR store and air models. Consider becoming a member if you like what you see. You can join the Discord if you want a wingman or someone to fly with, and beyond that, I'm just glad you're here. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.